Let's talk about jobless claims. Big drop in jobless claims this morning, but you can see right there from that chart, the market didn't really take it that well. Big jobs report tomorrow. Conor Dougherty here to do a little review and preview.
A review and preview.
A little review and preview. Let's talk about the jobless claims first, because they did take a big dive, the initial claims.
Huge dive. I don't know that anybody sees this as, huge progress. I think they see it as basically we are where we thought we were. It's like, what was that coach's name?
Denny Green.
Yes, exactly. So claims are what we thought they were. But what happened is claims went down below 400,000 a couple months ago now, and that was a big deal. And they stayed there, and they got well below it. Then they kind of creeped back up, and there was some discussion about whether or not it's the weather and early Easter and all these things. And now they're kind of back where they were before that upward trend. So it's not as if this is like huge progress. It's more, okay, this is where we are.
And you can see in the weekly claims lately, they've become very volatile, which is why maybe the 4-week average is something that people are focusing on more.
But even the 4-week average was solidly up.
Yeah, it was high. It's at 383.
Exactly. So, I mean, basically this kind of gets us back on that trend. It suggests that probably the weather, played some role. Again, it's hard to make a lot out of a weekly number that scatters all over the place, but when this gets us back to something that had a good long trend, I think it kind of puts people at ease, like, okay, the 360 level, that's kind of like where we are,
Now let's look, all right, so this week we've had the jobless claims, we had ADP, we had trim tabs, Challenger, a lot of data on the jobs market. Tomorrow we get the big kahuna, right?
Exactly.
The queen mother of data points, the monthly jobless report. What are we looking for from that? And are we possibly anticipating another disappointment? I am. I'll answer that question right now. I am. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I have not felt as. It's funny. I had a conversation with your next guest yesterday, and assuming Justin's your next guest, and I have never felt less confident about prognosticating this. Not that I.
Not that you should.
You can always be wrong, but I just meant when I'm getting a mental picture of what I think is going to happen, usually I'm like, I have a gun to my head answer, right? And I just don't have that this time. So economists think that the weather will that the weather payback, we had good weather in the beginning of the year, that there will be some payback in April in the form of a weaker jobs number.
A lot of what you would have seen in these couple of months actually was moved forward because of the weather.
But then there's all these other things happening that kind of make, the claims that make me think, well, maybe it'll just be good. So I really don't know. I think that the consensus, right, let's fall back on that, is 170-ish.
Right.
I think that if you got that, people would be okay with it. If you got anything above 200 people, 200,000 people would
be
flip.
Great,
you know what I mean?
But can you say sort of broadly that, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to ask you if you agree with me, that job creation is slowing down. That's what we're seeing in a broad manner, broadly speaking, putting a kind of big bow on it. Job creation is slowing down the past few months.
So that's actually why that midpoint number, like the 150 versus 100, is kind of important. Because let's just say the weather did play a big role. I mean, it was the fourth warmest winter on record, the warmest quarter, I think, ever on record. So, January, February, February, both pretty good, well over 200,000.
And Justin, I gotta put a gun to your head.
Give
me a gun to your head answer.
Gun to my head. No, I don't think it's slowing down, because I think that what happens is you average the whole thing. We're on a 175 pace, give or take, and that's where we are. You average the whole thing together, and that's the trend.
Great. All right, that's a good answer. Thank you very much, Conor Dougherty.